All right, my buddy. Where are we going this week? Are we going to Germany?
No. No. Mm-mm.
No. Going to China?
No. 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 No.
No. How about back to one of our favorite islands? Japan! Yay! Japan!
I'm turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so.
You don't look very excited. Well, that's where we're going back this week, Japan, because we're looking at another legend. The Ricoh Rikenon, Auto Rikenon, 55 millimeter 1.4. It's making you cough. It's probably it's a radioactive lens making you cough. That's right, folks. It's radioactive. Is it going to kill us? Is it going to make us sick? It's going to make all your hair fall out?
That's disgusting.
Well, let's find out together. Is it any good? Yeah, I think so too. Well, grab yourself something to eat or drink. Get yourself comfortable. And let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and my co-host Dylan. That's right. That sounds like a fake laugh. Try that again. Dylan.
Lovely.
Well, see, you only do it one time, don't you? Well, this week we are back to Japan. As we said in the intro, we're looking at another classic. This is the Ricoh Auto Rikenon 55mm f 1.4. And just as we asked Dylan in the beginning, the intro, is it any good? He said yes. Is it any good? Yes.
Yes.
Why is it any good? Well, you know, for a number of different reasons. That's what we'll get into now. So, one of the things to get kind of out of the way off the bat was the name of the company, Ricoh. You may know Ricoh these days as one of two things. Either street photography, you know, the GR, point and shoot. That is a favorite of street photographers out there. Fits in your pocket. It's got some pretty killer results. Good feedback from the users. So that's one of the Ricohs. The other is office supplies. What the heck does that got to do with each other? Who knows? But photocopiers. Hey, I got a Ricoh photocopier at the university. That's right. So anyway, they started way back, 1917, as a chemical research company, and throughout their days of doing whatever it is you do in a chemical research company.
Hey, what was that shit, man?
You just ate the most acid I've ever seen anybody eat in my life.
They discovered that the application of certain chemicals on paper made them very sensitive to light. So they created their own photographic paper. I mean, there were others, obviously, you know, Kodak, Eastman, and those guys doing the same thing. But that was how, you know, Ricoh kind of got into the business. And this was in 1936. By 1938, they split that division off from their, you know, from their chemical research to create a photographic paper division. And so in 1938, they created Ricoh optic company. And from there, you know, they went off into creating cameras like the TLR camera, the Ricoh Flex. and so on and so forth. So anyway, all the way, that went through all the way till 1963, and that's when they officially changed the name of their company to Ricoh, and it is what it is today. And they're still, expanding. In 2017, they bought Pentax. And anybody who's been in the vintage world knows Pentax was pretty big back in the day. They're still big today, but they're definitely not the same players as Canon and Nikon and Fuji and whatnot. So they're still in the game. But Ricoh bought them out in 2017. So anyway, back to this lens. This lens was made. It's a Ricoh lens, but it was actually manufactured by Tomioka Optical Company, who made lenses for a number of others out there. But this same lens, this 5514, was an auto Rikenon, but it was also, what people compare it to is the auto Chinon, the Sears, as in the Sears company, retail company.
Come see the softer side of Sears.
So that, Tomioka made lenses for many people. They had a good reputation because they built quality stuff. They even made their own version, Tomioka labeled 55 millimeter 1.4. But anyhow, this one kind of stands apart from the rest, though. The fact too that back in the 60s and 70s, the engineers were looking at ways to make the elements more, I guess, efficient when it comes to light transmission. And one of the ways, are we keeping you awake with all this technical stuff? One of the ways they did, or they accomplished this, was by adding thorium oxide.
What? No.
Into the elements. That's right, thorium oxide. You may have heard of that before, or you may not. Well, it's a radioactive substance, or an element. And, there are many people out there who mistakenly think it was some kind of coating they put on the lens.
Idiot!
But no, that would actually truly make it dangerous, because then it would flake off, and now you got thorium laying around the house or on your fingers or whatever else. But no, that's not true. Thorium was baked into the actual glass. So the only way it's going to basically do major harm to you is if you crush that glass and snort it up.
It's not really...
Or ingest it in some other way. So please don't do that. Make sure you don't drop your lenses, and if you do, sweep them up right away, clean up everything, and throw them out. Get them out of the house. But anyway, one of the side effects of thorium, besides to the human, to the elements themselves, they tend to yellow or brown over time. Ew! Because of the decay of the radioactive element. Anyway, mine was yellowed when I got it, and how you go about de-yellowing your radioactive lenses is through UV light. You can see that little lamp behind me. It's an IKEA lamp. You just need the little LED in there, which emits some UV light. I also used a LED flashlight on some of my Takamars and whatnot. Did the same thing. Speaking of Takamars, it's one thing about the auto Rikenon. It was rumored to be, in some circles anyway, better than Takamar. Now for those Takamar fanboys out there, sorry to burst your bubble in that, going, oh my God, I can't believe that would happen. But
get the fuck out of here.
Some people say. That's their opinion, right? I also love my Takamars, my 51.4s. But anyhow, it's a different lens. So, what else can we say? Well, how about talk about the lens itself now. Yes, it's got thorium in the rear elements. It is 6 elements in 5 groups. It's the makeup of the lens. Its close focus is 45 centimeters, so not bad, right about here. 6 blades, typical for Japanese manufacturers in the day, but they're 6 curved blades, so as you stop down, the out of focus background, the bokeh balls stay round. We like them round, right?
Say, everybody haven't seen my balls.
No, you want your bokeh balls square? You silly goose. And it's 306 grams. So it's not exactly light, but it's not super heavy either. So, it is what it is. But the result of the engineers doping their glass with thorium is it results in besides better light transmission, but they also managed to result in very vivid saturated colors, good contrast, good rendition, overall resolution of the photograph itself. No chromatic aberrations, so no funky purple fringing, against the light backgrounds. No distortion. Now the coatings, back in the 60s weren't exactly the greatest either. So this lens will flare.
Would be prancing down the street and I don't know, wearing a rainbow flag.
And I'll show you some of those here. Some people like, some people don't. Hey, if you don't like the flares, don't shoot into the sun and use a hood. Use a hood. So many people complain about flaring on things and yet they never use a hood. Hoods are cheap, man. You can get them anywhere on Amazon or eBay or wherever you do your online shopping to get some cheapy Chinese hoods that you just screw into the end of the lens and hey, voila. It really helps to resolve that problem for you anyway. It's pretty sharp, wide open. That's nice, right? You don't like it really sharp, wide open? You don't even know what you're talking about. And of course, stopping down gets even sharper. Right? Most lenses do. So if you're sharp already wide open, then you don't have much to complain about. Anyway, let me get you a sample shot of my Canon M50, which I use to record these videos. And what I do is I shoot from here, we're just under 2 meters, and I try to focus in on the nameplate on the end of the kit lens, 15 to 45 EFM lens, to see how crisp I can get the writing on the lens itself. All right, mister. So, are you ready? All right. So I'll let you view from here. Let's use our optical zoom so we can check how crispy sharp we can get it. How about you tell me when? Does it look good there? All right. But before I do that, hold on. Let me get into my steady shot. See, I got it on 85 millimeter. That's not going to help anybody, is it? No. So let's get it on 55. All right, back in action, and stabilization is much nicer. All right, right about there. You think that looks good? 1, 2, 3. Let's stop it down 5.6. Just for and giggles. Just to show you what that looks like, see if it's any sharper. Of course, it's grainier because, we're indoors and whatever with what we got going on here. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. So that was at 1.4 and 5.6. What do you think, mister? Is it a nice looking lens? You see yourself in there? Can you see the future?
How did you know?
Oh, what's really going to bake your noodle later on is, would you still have broken it if I hadn't said anything?
Oh, it's scary, isn't it? At least at your age. Who knows what the world will be looking like in 20, 30 years from now. Jeez. Anyway, how about some real life pictures of Dylan the dude? Are you the dude? Yeah.
I'm the dude.
All right, so here's Dylan at 1.4. What do you think? Look good? All right, well, how about Dylan at 5.6? Looking better? Yeah. Anything to do with you looking is always good. And how about some random stuff, right? Basically taking the same lens, taking pictures of other stuff out there. Some horses and cats and buildings and city scenes. Stuff. You know, we'll just give you stuff. All right, so here's the random crap at F whatever. All right. So that was the lens. That was the history of Ricoh. Anything else you can think of? Can we recommend it? Yes. Yes. Yeah, I think it's a good lens too. It's I forget what I paid for it. Maybe 150 bucks or so. Depends where you're shopping, whatever. It could range all over the place. But it's one of the beauties of vintage lenses is you may come across them just about anywhere. A garage sale or your neighbor happens to go, hey, I got this box of crap in my closet I've had for 30 years. You want them? 10 bucks, they're yours. You never know. So anyway, yes, we can recommend it. How about our little plug for our photo editing software? Who do you use?
Don't care.
I don't know, right? I don't use anybody. Well, I use Luminar. Luminar AI and Luminar Neo. Now, Luminar Neo is their latest, greatest, and it is a combination of Luminar 4 and Luminar AI. Hey, what does AI mean? Yeah. Yeah, AI, not E-I-E-I-O. AI. What's the acronym? You gonna tell us? I'll give you a guess. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. No, it's not that. It's artificial intelligence. I know you know that by now. You're just goofing on us. But anyway, that's the beauty of photo editing software these days is it's full of AI, especially Luminar stuff. So we have dust and spot removal. You click on that button and it'll analyze your photo, look for the spots, any dust or you've got a dirty sensor, and it'll remove them for you. Power line removal. Power line removal. I think you're messing with me now. Same thing, it'll remove the power lines for you without you having to brush over everything and taking the time to try not to erase other stuff, important stuff in behind your seat. Scene relighting, background removal. What else? Got a bunch of other AI stuff in there too. But anyway, I don't want to go through the whole menu. You could look it up yourself.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
So Luminar, produced by a company named Skylum, who's in Ukraine, and everybody knows the BS that's going on there. So you can support them by purchasing a copy of Luminar. But you want to save $10 on that? Because I think it's $90 now. Anybody want to save $10? You don't want to save $10? That's because you don't have $10 to save. But you can click below. There's a description or a link in the description that can take you to Luminar's site, and you can purchase it there. And going through our link will save you $10, so it's only $80. And what do they do with that $10? They give it to us? Yes, they do. Well, maybe not to you particularly, but they give it to me anyway. And what do they call that? They call that kickback. Yay! Kickback. And I'll share it with Dylan. Don't worry, I'll give you some. I'll give you some of that money. And then you can save it, and one day you might have $1 million. $1 million.
$1 million.
That's right. You could be a rich guy. Well, again, in your future, $1 million may not be that much. Anyway, still not a bad place to start. So, so get yourself a copy. Now, what else does Luminar like besides, or what is Luminar like? How about YouTube? Sit up, you dummy. YouTube likes what? YouTube likes subscribers. That's right. It's one way to get us exposed out into the world. Is to get subscribers. So how about you? Subscribe. You want to do that hand again? Subscribe. And how about two hands? Subscribe. That's right. And what else do they like besides subscribers?
And now for something completely different.
Okay, like the thumbs up, right? And you give us a thumbs up, we'll give you a taste of the thumbs up girls. Thumbs up, do 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 do. Thumbs up. Good boy. It's Dylan's favorite part of the show. He's got a thing for the thumbs up girls. And what else? Well, who are we? Who are you? Are you Dylan? I'm Dr. Scott.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
And together we are all Modesty Photography. That's right. We're here to talk about tips and tricks about photography, vintage lenses, vintage camera systems, just photography stuff. You know, we'll talk about whatever. If you want to leave a comment below as a recommendation or a suggestion or a request, you name it, we're here to please. Well, maybe not please, but we're here for us anyway, to do our thing, just so Dylan has something funky to look at in the future when he's a teenager and older and can look back and go, oh my God, look at Daddy and me doing our camera talk. Oh my God. Anyway, so I think that brings us to the end of another camera talk. So, just like I always say, why should they come back here? Because you belong here. That's right. Where do they belong? What's the name of this show? This was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. Well, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting our show. Thank you for hanging out all the way to the end here. Thank you for supporting Dylan. And thank you for just being you. That's right. Okay, so you think that's enough? Is it enough? All right, so let's say bye-bye now. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Here I am in Vietnam. Rain is always coming.